Now these right here are pretty wild. Yo guys, Zakaragi here for another episode of Toilet Reviews, where we'll be going over the 361 AG5 in the King colorway. So before we get into things, I need you guys to do me a favor and drop a like, a comment, and if you're feeling so generous, even subscribe to the channel as well, as it really does help me out in the long run. So go ahead, do all of that, and without further ado, let's get straight into this review. So this is Aaron Gordon's 5th signature shoe with the brand, and it's crazy to me that he's already at 5 different shoes. A lot of people don't even know that he has one to begin with, so shout out to Aaron Gordon and 361 for putting out another shoe right here. But these guys right here, like I mentioned before, are the King colorway, which is short for King of the Jungle, which is actually printed on the insoles. I'll put a little B-roll shot of that. But being that this is a jungle themed shoe, we got a bunch of different animal prints on here, so I think that's actually a really nice touch for the shoes. Makes it stand out a little bit more on court, which I'm really digging. But this is actually the second version of the AG5. There's 2 different versions, so the base model doesn't have these straps right here, and then this model right here does have the straps. So this kind of reminds me of the Kobe 2, because those guys had the regular version with just 1 strap, and then the strength version or ST version with the double straps right here. So definitely giving those vibes. Also, if you're not a fan of straps on your shoes, you can actually remove the top one right here. So that's a nice little touch from 361. And I'm really liking the look and design of these shoes right here, because to me, this design is very unique. There's nothing else on the market that looks like these right now. And when I was wearing these on court the other day, a lot of people are actually coming up to me and asking me like, hey, like what are those? Like, where did you get them? These look fire. So they really do stand out on court. Now, I really like how the little details within this design really go a long way to making these shoes look better. My favorite detail would have to be how his logo is on the outsole on the heel right here. Definitely a nice touch, and it really reminds me of like Adidas with the 3 stripes on the bottom of their shoes with the heart and stuff, or even the D Rose stuff as well. Now, these guys do come with a really cool box. It is a pull-out box with a plastic insert on the inside of it. Kind of reminds me of Jordan 11 boxes from back in the day. Jordan brand, please bring those back, but I'm not here to talk about those guys. So when it comes to the retail price of the AG5 right here, these are going to cost you 190 Canadian or 130 USD. Okay, now getting into the outsole right here, and we do have a decoupled design, meaning that the forefoot and the rear foot are separated. So on these shoes, we do have full solid rubber, and we have this aggressive multi-directional linear blade pattern that does extend a little bit further up onto the shoes, so you have better grip for those moves where you're dragging your foot and whatnot, which I really do appreciate, because I myself, when I play, do a lot of moves like that. Now, to my surprise, this rubber compound right here actually isn't all that soft. I'm moving my fingers through it, and it actually feels a little more sturdy than I anticipated, which is a good thing. But would I still recommend these outdoors? Probably not, just because when it comes to linear patterns like this, they're usually not the most durable, no matter how sturdy the compound is, just because you have these thin little lines going throughout the shoe, and those just don't hold up very well when you go on concrete courts and whatnot. But my other concern for this outsole would actually have to be dust pickup, just because the grooves of this pattern right here, whether it's this middle part right here or just the outer edges of the shoe, are very like thin. There's not much space in between, so a lot of dust can actually get clogged up within there, so meaning you're probably gonna have to wipe off dust a lot when you play in these. Now, moving along to the cushion setup, and it's really impressive. So what we have here is a triple density foam setup. You guys heard that right. Triple density foam setup, meaning that there's 3 different foam compounds within the shoe, which is crazy. So in the forefoot right here, we do have the brand's Energy X Plus foam, and then in the heel, there's a small puck of CQT Extreme foam, and then housing all that foam together, we do have the EVA foam carrier as well. So that is ridiculous to me, all for the price of 190 Canadian or 130 US. That is a lot of tech in one shoe, but they do sacrifice sacrifice a bit with the insole right here because they're really not that special. It's just a standard foam insole, and it does provide some good step-in comfort while it's still fresh and new. But as far as how these feel on foot so far, so good. The heel area is nice and plush and soft underfoot, and then the forefoot is a little bit lower to the ground, but I'm still feeling some nice responsiveness and a little bit of bounce as well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how these are going to play once I actually start playing in these. So it's going to be nice to see. But what I'm really looking forward to is when they actually put out the more elite version of the shoe, because they normally do that every year. So AT4 had the AT4 Soar, for example. So with these guys, maybe there will be a Soar version which has better tech within the shoes. So I can only imagine how much better that shoe is going to be compared to these guys right here, which are already really damn good. And with the amount of cushion within these shoes, we actually do have a lot of supportive features to help keep the shoes nice and stable. So these guys have a TPU frame that starts on the side of the shoe, wraps around the back, and then goes all the way to the other side of the shoe. Then as it wraps around the heel, this acts as an external heel counter, which is already layered on top of this internal heel counter back here, which feels very sturdy. And then inside the shoes, we do have a full-length carbon fiber plate. Then in between the outsole, we do have this TPU bridge right here as well for added stability. So the amount of supportive tech within these shoes is insane to me and very impressive. Now diving into the materials, and it's mostly made up of suede with fused overlays on high wear areas for added durability. So I really like the look of the suede, especially being that this material isn't used too often on basketball shoes anymore. So it's really nice when it is being used on a basketball shoe these days. Gives the shoes a nice aesthetic. I really like the suede that's used on the outer edge of the toe box right here on the overlay. It's hairy, it's soft, and it's really nice to the touch. But what I really don't like is actually the toe box itself, because it feels like there's a plastic backing behind the suede right here, and it just has awkward structure to it, because when I lace these up, the toe box actually caves inwards, which is really awkward to look at and feels weird on foot too. But I'm sure I won't feel it as much when I actually start playing in these, but I really don't like how it's like that. But I will say that the inner padding within the shoes back here is actually not that bad. I am enjoying the pillow that they have going on here, and it definitely feels comfortable on foot. And then when it comes to sizing, I'd say the fit is pretty accommodating, so I'd recommend going true to size. No matter what foot shape you have, going true to size should work best. So I got my normal size 10 that I get with Nikes, for example, with these guys, and I have no problems whatsoever. But overall, guys, these are an absolute beast of a shoe. I'm really looking forward to taking these out on court, so stay tuned for my performance review. I'll link it up here once that's out. But with the amount of tech you get within these shoes for the price that you pay, now that is really damn impressive. All the North American brands should take note, because if these guys can do it, why can't you guys do it? But comment down below and let me know what you think about these shoes. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them in the comments down below, so make sure you drop a question or a comment down below. But we're at that point in the video now. It's time for hashtag Zacharagi, what you rocking. And for today, this is a shoe that I'm currently wear testing. These are the Li Ning Ultralight 2025. Now these guys are awesome. Performance review coming soon. Now that is it for today, guys. I appreciate you all for watching. I'm signing out. Peace.